Checking.
I feel, I don't know, I'd be more surprised if it's
Monique, are you in the front desk? Can you hear me?
think that they're gonna do that, but we'll see. Welcome back, Tina.
Thank you. How are you? Thursday night.
That's back.
I'm still tired.
Any kind of, reality-based rapping prevalent for a little while. So crazy. It is. It's like, it's really shocking. Yeah. Start a cryptocurrency episode. Stupidest. We're like, what the heck?
The course descriptions of all of our undergraduate and graduate courses, and there was one specifically
That's good. Yeah, no, we're not changing anything on that level, but we have a division of DEI that's been renamed basically, I don't know, human success. It's just, but like everyone is, the important part is the thing is that everyone is still there. No one's getting fired or laid off, and nothing is getting closed. Hopefully things are just getting
we had an
pushed.
inclusion and EI, two people, the people who were running those programs left. One of them was offered a position. She was like, it's been kind of folded into some of like the equal opportunity. I don't know. It's been folded into like compliance office or something. It's just been realigned.
Realign, yeah. So as long as people aren't losing their jobs, hopefully this is just a temporary event. This is a completely different thing, but did you see Mason University's announcement? It's a college up north in Jersey. They are shutting down all of their humanities majors.
What?
Yeah.
At Princeton?
No, Fairleigh Dickinson.
Oh, at Fairleigh, they're shutting down humanities?
Yeah, they're
for budget?
Who knows? I didn't read the full press release. I just saw the header, which somewhere across my phone. But basically, instead of being able to major in English or history or sociology, you can get no, you can get one major in humanities.
Oh.
So everything is getting
Kind of
bucketed and collapsed, and they just announced it. So who knows how
amendment to like have separate departments and
fewer faculty. It's almost it used to be that you could really lay off tenured faculty by eliminating the department.
right.
So yeah.
I mean, a lot of this stuff is going to be like, it's like the tax code. Like,
Yeah.
tax code comes out, and everyone figures out the loopholes,
And then you
they
do it
adjust
again.
it, and then
Yeah.
but
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, like stuff is if all of this stuff really becomes permanent, people are just going to find ways around it. So it's not like it's a very like. This is why this is bad because when I don't come to yoga for 2 weeks, I just listen to more
Well, right.
podcasts and it's bad. So
no, you need
yoga's
this is
better.
the counter pose.
That's right. Yeah. I know. I was just saying. I've had work has kept me at work until like 7 p.m. for the last 3 Fridays. So I'm functionally insane now.
Nice to be back with y'all. I missed y'all the past couple weeks. Anything you want to do? Postures or body parts? Hamstrings. Was that serious or you just messing with me?
We were at like adductors.
Adductors and hamstrings you need? Okay.
All that, you did it. Where that have legs now.
So, it's funny, and I've told some of y'all this before. I don't do a lot of hamstring openers with y'all. All right? Because if I don't see this in forward fold, your hamstrings aren't tight. If this is you in forward fold, your hamstrings aren't tight. Right? They might feel tight to you because you might have been working them and they might feel like the muscle has to lengthen a little bit. You want tension in your hamstrings before I sit back down. Your hamstrings are going to attach, your ischial-tuberosities are your sit bones. So your hamstrings are attaching there. When your hamstrings are tensioned properly, they're going to pull your sit bones down, right? What happens when our sit bones go up? Anterior pelvic tilt. And that's where we get the the lumbar pain, right? This like low back or these SI joints getting crammed up. So we want the tension to be down this way. Then when you pull your belly button in, it's going to be efficient. You could pull your belly button in all day long. It's not going to be, your abdominal wall is not going to be as strong as your hip flexors. So they are always going to dominate in this. You need to have these muscles working in conjunction, right, with this. Then it'll find balance in the front. So we'll play with that a little bit. It's not that, again, we'll do some hamstring openers, but I want you all to know what the depth of that is, right? Because when we do things in our practice, we wanted to optimize us, right? You're trying to do things that are bringing out the best part of you. So what does that mean in your forward folds? Well, find where you need to be. If you need to be up on the block a little bit, great. If you feel like you want to try to go deeper in some of those folds, build it up, right? It's always going to be easy to take the path of least resistance. So that's what we don't want to do, right? That's usually the misalignment. We want to work towards the alignment. So we'll play a little bit. Trina's back, so she'll be up here on the mat with us. Another person around in the inversions, right, that we can kind of use. So we'll kind of settle into our old consistent patterns a little bit here, right? So take a nice seat, close the eyes, sit up tall. Let's play around. You know, that's what your asana is, right? It's like our playtime. We get on the mat, we move our bodies, we challenge ourselves, we challenge each other. And that's part of the game. So think about that in your practice. You know, I think the first thing that, when I hear the word play, is there's no reason to get anxious over this, right? There's no reason to get upset. It's just a practice. You're just enjoying your time on your mat, moving your body, spending time with your cooler, your yoga family, and we do our thing. And that's why there'll be different spots for you to play with in each pose. Sometimes you'll want to hold, sometimes you'll want to move a little more. Sometimes you'll want to hug in, sometimes you'll want to express out. Start here with your breath. The simplest refinement is you listen to yourself breathe. Because you don't have to concentrate on your breath, right? It's going to happen, subconscious. But when we concentrate on it, we're going to use it in a few different ways. We're going to use it to engage ourselves, find muscle energy. We're going to use it to open and release organic energy. We're going to use it to get our core to ignite, to get tall. From listening to yourself breathe, slow down the beginning of the inhale. Push a little more on the end of the exhale. Or count out the breath. If the inhale is 2 or 3 seconds, make the exhale the same 2 or 3 seconds. Maybe find Ujjayi breath. Let the air rebound off the back of the throat. Sit up tall again. Notice if you started to lean forward. Let the shoulders settle back just a little bit. Let the head and the throat settle back. The next inhale, let the arms lift. And let the exhale bring the fingertips, the knuckle pads, the root, and the heels of the hands lightly touch. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. Okay, let's start all fours, hands and knees. So hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Pointer fingers straight forward or turned out. Fingers are spread. Start to claw the floor. So it's like you're pulling your fingertips back to you, right? And you're going to make an arch out of your fingers. What does an arch do? It dissipates weight on each end, right? So we're going to get the fingertip to root and the knuckle pad to root. Keep hugging the hands into the midline. Feel it come up your arms like your forearms are hugging in. Squeeze your biceps, these muscles here. That's going to help support that elbow joint. Sweep the inner heels out, hug the shins in. Now pull your heels to your butt. The way you do that is, like if I came up to Trina and I'm gonna push her feet to the floor, she's gonna like pull her heels up to the sky. And these muscles are going to engage. We want that. Bring the belly into the spine. Look how full we are here. And now breathe, low mountain. We don't want our belly to fall to the floor. Remember, we talked about that. So when we tension the hamstrings, it drew the sit bones down a little bit. When we bring the belly button in, now we're nice and solid in that lumbar. One more breath. And when you're ready, work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back. Look to your belly. Lengthen your sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round. Start linking the breath to movement, right? So 2 seconds to inhale, how long it's going to take to arch. 2 seconds to exhale, how long it's going to take to round, or whatever the length of your breath is. To get into your upper back a little bit more, you're going to look to your belly button or your neck, your cervical spine. To get into your lumbar, your low back, you're going to lengthen those sit bones towards the backs of the knees. One more, and then come to a neutral position, so find that flat back. Take the knees back a few inches. Now reach the right leg straight back. Keep the ball of the foot on the floor. So now we're starting to open up the back of the leg a little bit here. What you got to concentrate on is that you don't hyperextend the knee. Okay, so that, in order to do that, we're going to have to fire up the quads, the front of our thigh. So what you want to do is you want to pull your kneecap up to your waist. The misalignment is you're going to push your kneecap to the ceiling, and the knee is going to hyperextend. So keep a little micro bend, pull the knee to your waist. Now reach down the back of the leg and out of the bottom of the heel. So think more like closer to the midfoot. Exhale, lower that right leg, take the left leg back. See, if you reach from like the top of your heel, it's going to want to hyperextend the knee. So try to think you're reaching more here, and that'll give you a little more balance to it. And as the heel reaches back, the crown of the head reaches forward, the belly button still to the spine, you're even starting to expand side to side. Exhale, lower that left knee, walk the knees back in, all fours. Tiger pose. Inhale, take the heel to the sky. You can look up. Exhale, you're going to bring your knee to your chin or your chest. You can look under. Let's do 5 each side. Take that right heel up like you're holding the ceiling up with your foot. Yep, that's extending the hip. Bicep femoris is your lateral hamstring, this outside one. This is the one that extends the hip. So you're working that on the extension. You're keeping the other hamstrings engaged because the knee is bent. Right? So we should feel that there's a little bit of a connection back there. After the 5, lower the right knee. Make sure your hips width apart. Then when you're ready, take the left heel to the sky. Work your side 2. Stay with your breath. So if it was 2 seconds, right? It's just like we did before. 2 seconds to arch and lift the heel. 2 seconds to round the back as the knee comes to the chin or the chest. And then after your 5, we'll meet back in that all fours. After you 5, yep, just meet back in that low mountain. Set it up nice and strong. Low mountain is about an isometric engagement. That means without movement. We're hugging muscle to bone, right? Feel that. Take a breath here. Step back to plank. Shoulders are on top of your wrist crease, and you're reaching out of your heels. So if you feel like your feet are already straight up and down, you're a little too long. You might have to tiptoe forward. And then when you're ready, lift the hips, make your way back to downward dog. First downward dog, you could bend the knees. You could always bend the knees, but in this one, you always hear me say soften the first dog up, so you can bend the knees, you can swivel side to side, you can pedal, right? You just start to feel where you're at. Then come to neutral. Now, taking our legs straight in downward dog is not one of the main elements, all right? There's two main elements in this pose. It's going to be the arms are overhead, and it's going to be your sit bones are reaching to like where the ceiling and the wall meet at the back of the room. Then if you straighten your legs, it's extra, right? That's extending the pose. Now, keep the forearms lifting up, keep the inner biceps lifting up. Slide your throat back so that your chin isn't falling to the midline. Yep. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Now, as you push your hands down and forward, you're going to take your chest towards your toenails. There's the arms going up overhead. Everybody looks good in the sit bones. Now, if you want to work the legs, pull your heels to your butt to your heels to engage those hamstrings. Then try to reach the heels down towards the floor. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. Take those shoulders and squeeze them back. And then depress them. Take them down away from your ears. Then after your 3 breaths, lower the chest, push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Now, if you want to keep the knees bent, and that feels better in your downward dog, it's going to be easier for you to get the arms overhead and the sit bones, right? Reach into the ceiling and walk. Good. If you feel like you want to straighten the legs, right? It's just where you want to play in the pose. Then inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. We're really trying to activate that upper back, right? Wake these muscles up and open these muscles up. Then after the 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Blocks or fingertips, wherever your space is, right, to get that spine to come to neutral. Start pushing down into your feet. That's going to be the top to bottom of this, right? So you're pushing down and you feel like you're lifting up. Then you're hugging in, so you're pulling the front heel back and the back toes forward, right? Front to back. Side to side, you're hugging your shins into the midline. Now you feel lots of power coming up your legs, and it's going to collect up in your hips. Pull your pelvic floor up. Pull your belly in. Pull your shutters closed. You feel it coming up the upper trunk. Let the head and the throat slide back, yep, so the chin doesn't fall to the floor. Now as you reach back out of your heel, reach forward out of the front knee, forward out of the crown of the head. And inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana, 1 crescent. Keep the left hip coming forward so it stays square with the right. It's going to try to peel. So start with the heel. Sweep the left heel out. It'll draw the hip forward. Bend into the lead knee. It'll stack up on top of the ankle. Breathe up from the pelvic floor. So from root chakra, take it all the way up the crown, maybe even through your thumbs as you maybe curl back into the pose. Feels better to stay straight up, stay straight up. Feels better to curl back, curl back. Exhale the hands down to the blocks. Flip them up nice and high. Slowly straighten your front leg. There's the hamstring on that right leg. Square the left hip forward and down. Look forward. Yeah. Now peel your spine out of your waist so you get nice and tall. And then if you want to fold to the inside of that right thigh, fold. Keep dragging your right heel back to you. That's how you're going to keep the hamstring engaged. And then as you go deeper in the fold is how you're going to stretch it a little bit more. Remember, engagements first, right? A muscle that's not engaged, we just stress the attachments. A muscle that is engaged, we are stretching the fibers, and that's what we want. 1 more breath. Inhale, look forward, bend into that lead knee, lunge, left hand stays down, right elbow draws back, take the twist. Keep that front knee on top of the ankle. So if it moved back, bend back into it. Keep that left thigh lifting up, soften that right thigh down. Reach forward out of the crown of the head to get tall. Maybe open the right side of the chest, one more breath. Nice, y'all. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hands down, step back. Downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga, or lower your chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog. So work on your breath, not my voice, right? Always try to stay just ahead of you a little bit. Reach the left leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Make sure your hips width apart. We don't want to step too narrow because then we're going to lose the balance later, right? We want to be in that neutral space. Right? Even here in lunge, the heel's going to try to do this. When we come up into warrior one, it's going to be even more challenging, right? So sweep that heel out, and then you can see, as I sweep the heel out, right, the hip comes forward. I hug to the inside of that left thigh. Now I got lots of power, right? Then I could reach back, I could reach forward, I could reach through the crown of the head, I can breathe side to side. And when you're ready, inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana, one crescent. If that front knee moved again, bend back into it so it stacks up, yep. And then re-square the right hip forward a little bit. As you keep pushing down, you keep reaching up. Now we got the space to move into, so we could curl back into it a little bit, or we could reach up a little higher, whatever the play is going to be. And now settle into the pose, one more breath. And exhale the hands down to the blocks, flip them up nice and high. Straighten your left leg. Be careful not to hyperextend the knee. We want to make sure that we keep that micro bend. So pulling your heel back to you will help with that. Then as the right hip squares forward, look forward and let the spine climb up out of the waist. Yep. Now maybe fold into the pose a little bit more. If it felt better to stay lifted up, stay lifted up. If it feels better to fold to the inside of that left thigh, fold to the inside of the thigh. Right? It's not a right or wrong. It's just where you want to move the pose now. That's the organic side of it. You feel it in the back of that left leg. You feel it in the front of the shin from the knee down to the foot. One more breath. Then as you look forward, bend into that lead knee, lunge. The right hand stays down. Maybe the left elbow draws back. Maybe we reach up to the sky. Right? We play where the twist asks us to go. Keep spinning that right shoulder back. Go this way with your shoulder. Spin this one. Yeah, the right one. When you spin the right shoulder back, you should feel it integrate. It's going to get stronger. Now you can lean into it. Yeah, I see you all spinning those shoulders back. That's what you want. Now you can open up a little bit deeper into that left side of the chest. And then inhale, come back to center. Nice, y'all. Place the hands, step back, downward dog. When you're ready, move through one vinyasa. Keep your forearms straight up and down in chaturangas. If your forearms are falling back in chaturangas, because you're a little too long. So you just tiptoe forward a little bit in your downward dog. If you want to measure it, so what we do is inhale, come forward to plank. See how the shoulders are on top of the wrist crease. And then see how we're in dorsiflexion, so we're reaching our heels back behind us. When Trina goes to chaturanga, she goes forward in her feet. She never goes to plantar flexion like a high heel. We never go there. Just from dorsa to neutral. Yep. Push back, downward dog. And that's how you can measure it up so that your vinyasa, right, will start to come together when you flow. Let's go for it. Work through one vinyasa. You'll see how when you come forward, keep reaching your heels back. Then when you go to chaturanga, you come forward in your feet. It's going to bring your shoulders in front of your wrist crease, but you're already lowering, right? So that's how it all flows together. Just like when you lower your chest back to chaturanga, see if those forearms are straight up and down. If they aren't, usually it's because you didn't curl your toes under enough. So really try to flick those toes under. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. The legs are charged, the belly's in, the sit bones are down. Reach up, maybe start to curl back into it a little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Take a nice breath here. Fill those ribs up, and then on the exhale, take the shoulders back. Maybe take the hands away from your back a little bit. Come up the arms. Yeah, keep nice and full here, though. It's easy to just manipulate our ribs. I want to be way out here. See the difference? There's space here now that I can draw away from. Exhale, release. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Take a nice big reach. Maybe curl back that little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold, forward fold. So balance the weight in the feet. Heel to the ball of the foot. Inner and outer edge. Keep those legs fired up. So we're pushing down into our heels and we're sweeping the inner heels out. That's how you get glute med and piriformis, like where the dimples of your butt are. When you hug your shins in, that's when you're going to get the inner thighs. So you should feel as you hug shins in, it pulls it up the insides of the legs. Your kneecaps to your waist, quads. Your heels to your butt, hamstrings. Now keep all that. Look forward. Climb the spine up out of the waist. Yep. And now maybe fold into the pose. Remember, there's a lot of shit in yoga because it's mindful, right? It's not mindless. We're not am-repping here, right? Like we're like, as many reps as possible, right? We're not doing that. Everything we do is conscious, right? Every move we make, we recognize it because we want to build on it. You can go again. Inhale, look forward, charge the legs, climb the spine, and exhale, fold in the pose. See if the block can lower little bit. See if your hands can get to the floor. See if your palms can go flat. See if the back of your hands can go flat. Yeah, see, it never stops, right? It just keeps going and going and going. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. That's why we don't get worked up, right? We just keep practicing. Maybe curl back on it a little bit. Inhale, come up, sit back, chair pose. Utkatasana. So the butt goes back first. Look at the lumbar spine. Solid, which means your sit bones are going to gently go to your heels, not up to the sky. Pull your belly buttons in. You're going to fill all this in. Pull your shutters closed. Sit back deeper. Hug the forearms in like you're squeezing a beach ball. Sit back deeper. Charge the legs, the core. Lift the arms. Sit back deeper. Push down, rise up. Nice, y'all. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Stay with your breath. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Place the hands. Step or jump back. Downward dog. Flow through your vinyasa 3 times. The flow is a new challenge, right? The flow, we're going to have to accelerate, decelerate, and stabilize. So start, stop, and hold. And that's why we go from static to dynamic, right? Because we want to challenge ourselves in all those different realms. Yeah, these look good, y'all. The chaturangas, that's it. Keep those forearms straight up and down. From downward dog, reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel, come up warrior 2. So we're going to set up on that balance beam, okay? Our front heel is going to be in line with our back arch. Your back toes are going to be slightly turned forward from parallel with the back of the mat. Now, make sure your length is good. We don't want to be too short here. We're going to try to get our front thigh parallel with the floor. Keep this back. Stick your butt back. Stick this back. This that way. Yep. We're trying to open the inside of that right thigh. So get nice and tall here, like you're peeling up out of your hip on the right side. Now we can start to bring the sit bone towards the heel. Keep this back. This that way. Nope, this back. No, this way. This back. Stick your butt. Yes. Feel this. Take your hands behind you. I didn't forget about you. Take your hands behind your back. Yep. Bow to the inside of that right thigh. Humble warrior. We're talking back here about rooting that left thigh back. So you want to like reach your sit bone or your butt cheek on the left side to the brick wall behind you. The inside of the right thigh is what's opening to stretch those adductors. Now in the upper body, look forward to the front left corner of your mat. The spine's going to get long. Now maybe start to reach those arms like you're trying to take them up. Oh, there it is. One more breath. Exhale the hands down. Spin that back heel up. Downward dog. Right, y'all have been with me, some of y'all have been with me for many years, right? We hold poses because we're creating muscle memory, right? We're keeping our body under tension. The longer your muscles are under tension, the stronger you get, right? So it's not about holding a pose to suffer. It's about holding the pose to keep moving yourself forward, right? Keep moving the edge. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Spin that back heel. Come up Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, Side 2. The easy shit doesn't get you anywhere, right? That's a plateau. That's shit your body knows. You want to try to find the edge each time in your pose. That's how you're going to keep getting stronger. So see, I'm here in this pose here. I want to stick my butt back. So I root this thigh. Then I'm going to bring my belly button in. It's going to start to open my hip flexors. Then I'm going to lengthen my sit bone to my heel, and that's going to open my knee. Or I could sweep my heel to the brick wall, and my knee's going to open out to the left. Yep. Now breathe into the upper body. Yep. Spread your fingers. And the only chill in this pose is bringing your gaze right over your middle finger, softening your face. That's it. Yeah, this is a fiery pose. One more breath. As the hands go behind the back, if left was under, right gets a turn. Bow to the inside of that left thigh. You feel those legs shaking a little bit? Time under tension. That's what we want. Let them shake. You always hear me say there's certain moments that are hard, right? Let them be hard. That's what it is. Don't fool yourself. Don't be like, oh, yeah, this shit's going to be easy here. I'm going to laugh this out. You're not, right? You're going to be at your edge, and that's where you want to be. One more breath as maybe the arms reach up overhead. Now control it as you exhale the hands down. Spin the back heel up. Downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Nice, y'all. Beautiful. When you get back to downward dog, exhale, lower your knees, sit back on your heels, child's pose, whatever feels good. Take a little break. Nice, y'all. Our asana, like we talked, it is our playtime. It's exercise, right? That's what we're doing. We're exercising ourselves. It's just that yoga exercises in a little bit different way, right? All right, when you're ready, inhale, come up, all fours. If you're in child's pose, up all fours. If you're on your knees, inhale, come up, exhale the hands down. Take a couple breaths here. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips. Step back to plank, back to downward dog. If you need to hold that plank for a second or two, hold it and find the space. If you're ready to push back to downward dog, go right to it. Then inhale, come forward to plank, exhale back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank, exhale back to downward dog. So we're taking the arms from above to below the head. We're taking the hip from flexion in downward dog to extension in plank. So we're working those muscle groups. After that fifth one, which I think is this one now coming up, we'll meet back in downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel, come up extended side angle, Utthita Parsvakonasana. So bent arm to bent knee could be that starting point if you want. Yep. So same thing here. All right, I'm going to stick my butt back so I root this thigh back. Keep that like you're sticking your butt to the brick wall. Yep. We're opening the inside of the thigh here. So this is where the stretch should feel. If you need to pause to plug the arm in, plug it in. And as the bicep sweeps up along the cheek, you want to be towards your bicep, right? As compared to here, right? Or here, we want to look right into it. Yep, we're making that line up the leg, up the side body, up the arm, and out the fingertips. Maybe take the right hand down to the block or the floor. Maybe pull the belly in. Maybe start to rotate so the top of the ribs go back and the bottom of the ribs go forward. Yep. Push into that front heel. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Push the front leg straight. Get nice and tall. Hinge at the right side of the hip. Asana triangle. We're right around that half moon, so we're going to kick it. Here in triangle first, right? Charge the legs by pulling them into each other. Keep opening the right side body as you open the left side body. Maybe rotate open, maybe challenge the balance by looking up. One more breath. Exhale that left hand to your hip, bend your front knee, kick up or drag that foot forward as you come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Your arm is out in front of you, the distance from your hip to your armpit, so your side body length. Kick your toes forward so if you look down your leg, you can see them. Keep going right sit bone to right heel. Have your junk in your chest facing this brick wall. Yes, one more breath. Maybe look up. Inhale, lower that left hip, come to standing split. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold over that right leg as you lift the left heel to the sky. You're going to feel the hamstring. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold over that right leg. Lower the left leg. Bend the knees. Place the hands. Step or jump back. Another chair pose you want it? Downward dog. I seen you setting up for that. Right? Again, we're in a challenging part of the class, right? We're linking postures, we're holding. This is where we're at. Reach the left leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel, come up extended, side angle, side two. But you know there's always going to be balance, right? We're most likely going to hit the floor shortly, and there's going to be the balance to all this standing and this work that we're doing here, right? That's the game. If you need to, plug the arm in as it sweeps up. Now we're keeping the right thigh back or taking your right butt cheek or sit bone to the wall behind you. The left knee might feel like it's pulling in because remember, those are the muscles we're stretching here. Belly, shudders. Here's your shudders, right? The top of your abs you're trying to ignite. If the hand goes down to the block or the floor, go for it. If you rotate open, go to where you need to play. One more breath. Push into your front heel as you inhale, come up tall into that warrior two. Take a breath. Push the front leg straight. Get tall again, especially side bodies, and then hinge at the left side of the hip. See, if we don't get tall, we're not going to clear the hip to be able to bend into it. We're going to cram into it. It's going to force us into like this side crescent. And we're not looking for side crescent. We're trying to keep the spine as neutral as possible here. So you want to open up the left side by engaging the right. Maybe rotate open. One more breath. Exhale the right hand to your hip. Bend your front knee. Kick up or drag that foot as you come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Kick those right toes forward so that you can see them if you look down your leg. Kick your toes to the brick wall more. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, right there. See, that's thigh back. Maybe start to look up. Play with the balance. Yes. One more breath. Now inhale, come to standing split, so lower that right hip. Next inhale, look forward, climb the spine out of the waist, and exhale, fold over the left leg. Look forward again, climb the spine. We're going to do it 3 times. And then fold over that left leg again. Maybe one more. Look forward, and then fold over the leg. After this one, lower that right leg. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog, move through one vinyasa. Nice, y'all. Fiery, right? One of those fiery moments. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Maybe curl back that little bit. Inhale, come up, right hand behind your back, left hand to your elbow. Push your head back into your forearm so you stand up nice and tall through your spine as compared to standing up tall by driving the hips forward. So keep these back. Yep. And then you back to stand up nice. And then exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Swap side two. Yeah, this is a better look than this. This is a misalignment, right? We don't want to reinforce this shit. Keep this back here. Yep, pull that belly in, pull those shutters closed. Then you can stand up tall and then draw your fingers up to intensify that stretch. Big lat opener here. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands in front. So now we'll play with forward fold a little more dynamic. Whenever you work dynamic and you take the muscles through shortening and lengthening, it's a different way to release, right? So take your feet so that they're like shoulders width or even mat's width. They'll give you a little more stability, and your feet are going to be like train tracks. So you want to be parallel as compared to this is the misalignment. I'm being dramatic. You're not going to be like this, but that's the idea, right? We want to be here. Now take the hands behind the back, and before you pull your shoulders back, take that big inhale like we did before. Now we can take the shoulders back. Then when you're ready, exhale, hinge. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Keep it going. So now we're working a little more dynamic here. Yep. Taking the hip from when we're standing, extension, when we fold, flexion, and back up. Let's do one more. And then as you inhale, come up. Exhale, release the hands. Heel toe your way back in. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. Let that right hand grab that left wrist. To play with the balance, you're going to plug your right leg up. You're going to let your hips settle to the left just a little bit as you take a side bend to the right. Now to keep the balance, keep hugging your shins into the midline. Like the adduction is this, where we're hugging in this way. Abduction is out this way. We want to hug in. Yep. Inhale, come back up. Swap the hand and the foot. Maybe plug that left leg up. The hip settles to the right a little bit. We're going to root from the hip down into our heel. And then above the waist from our hip, we're going to peel up. Here's that stretch coming up the arm, out the fingertips, up and out of the crown of the head. Yep. Nice big peel through the ribs. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the hand, lower the foot. Next exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Take the right hand to the outside of that left calf or shin for the twist here in forward fold. The left hand can be fingertips, block, hip. Some of you are going to reach your left hand up to the sky. When you do that, you take the back of your right hand to the outside of your foot. Spin your arm this way so the back of your hand go this way. Yeah, see that shoulder back. Inhale, come back to center, pause, swap the side. Yeah. So we're just talking about, we're just talking about spinning the shoulder. So when you take the back of the hand to the outside of the foot, you go external rotation on the arm, right? Supination, we want that. And then maybe start to look up and play with the balance here. Yep. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. And exhale, hands in front. All right, Parsvottanasana. Challenging pose, right? We did a variation of it earlier when we had the back heel up, right? When we were like this, okay? So the idea, what you're looking for is how far you can take your legs back while your back heel is down and your hips are square. So you can see if I go a little further than this, I can get my heel down, but I can't square my hips. If I square my hip, my heel comes up, so I'm a little too long. Your front toes, your right, let's go right leg forward, left leg back. Your right foot, your right toes are facing 12 o'clock. Your back toes are facing like around 11. Yeah, 12 would be here, right? 1 over there, 11 over there. We're kind of reaching towards 11. Now, keep the heel rooted, square that left hip forward. Yeah, like you're pulling to the inside of your right thigh. Here's the anchor. So your oblique sling, you're pulling across this way. Now, inhale, take the arms up. Yep, keep dragging your feet together. Keep that left hip coming forward as you fold to the inside of that right leg. Yeah, right? Different challenge to this pose. Keep rooting down into the feet. Keep heel nice and down. Now, keep squaring forward. Yeah, keep bringing that left hip forward. There it is. Go slow, because this shit's pretty deep. Anytime you adjust your hips, the next inhale, you want to adjust your spine. So on the next inhale, look forward. You're going to, because the relationship has changed, right? And that relationship is important to us, spine to hip. So anytime we square the hip, we take a nice breath, we peel the spine forward, and then we fold even a little deeper. Go a hair more on it. Left hip down. Yep. Now go back to the spine. Watch that right knee. Yeah. One more breath. Inhale, come up tall. Yep. Let the hands come in front. Step that back foot forward. Nice, y'all. Interesting pose, right? A whole nother level of challenge, right, with those legs, with that back heel down. Let's swap side too. So left leg forward, right leg back. Find where the distance is going to be so the back heel is rooted and the hips are square. Keep ripping your feet towards one another. So I'm pulling my front heel back and my back toes forward. It's going to keep the connection in the hips. Pull the pelvic floor up like from your junk. Pull your belly button in. Pull your shutters closed. You're going to get nice and tall. Inhale the arms up. Yep. Go slow as you fold to the inside of that left thigh. Because you know the slower you go, the more you can hang on to. The faster you go, the more is going to want to unwind. And you just worked hard for this shit, right? It was hard to get into this pose. It was not easy, so we don't want to give it up, right? We want to hold it and build on it. This time, keep that right hip coming forward and down. Keep going. This one down. Think like, yeah, you needed to lift the left up a little bit to bring this one down. Yeah, now get rid of this. Yep. Nice, y'all. Don't look to the middle of your mat. Look out in front of your left foot, your left toes. Go a hair more on that right hip. Yeah. Work this out. Look, yeah, and keep this coming down. These look awesome, y'all. Keep this coming up a little bit like this way. Yeah. One more breath. Push into those feet. Inhale, come up tall. Let the hands come to Anjali Mudra. Step that back foot forward. Let your thumbs catch your heart. They flick your heart out. Let your eyes close. Mountain pose variation, right? We're in mountain pose in our body, so it's strong and powerful. The power, right? The freedom is you closing your eyes, is you flicking your heart out. Full breath in, complete breath out. And then gently open the eyes, release the hands. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa 3 times. Yeah, nice chaturangas, crew. Those look awesome. Remember to keep the shoulders safe. Keep spinning the lids off the jars. Remember we worked on that for the past few weeks. From downward dog, roll to the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top or in front, come into side plank. Turn the bicep forward to root into the upper back. Push out of the big toe mounds to charge your legs into the hips. You want to go Vashisthasana, you're going to hug your left knee to your chest. Your 2 fingers go between your big toe and your second toe. Kick your leg to the wall with the window first. Then start to take the leg up to the sky. or hold the knee. Release the leg if it's there. Inhale, come back to plank. Push back, downward dog. Take a breath. Roll to the outside of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top or in front. Right? Remind yourself, this is one of those hard moments. Keep turning that bicep forward and integrate into your upper back. Get the friends in the game. If you're going to go Vashisthasana, you're going to hug your right knee to your chest, the 2 fingers between the big and the second toe. Kick to the brick wall first. Then start to open up towards the sky. Release the leg if it's there. Inhale, come back to plank. Push back to downward dog. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Knees count. Keep those shoulders stacked up on top of the wrist crease. Keep reaching back out of your heels. Keep your belly buttons in. Keep your shutters closed. Keep your hips up. Don't let them sag. These look awesome. Keep pushing down. Feel the upper back strong. We don't want to collapse between those shoulder blades. Keep breathing. Reach back out of your heels. Reach forward out of the crown of the head. Keep breathing. Keep pushing down. The more you push down, the more you're going to lift up. This is one of those moments. It's challenging. Keep the belly button working to the spine and the sit bones reaching towards your heels. Trina, where are we at?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Keep breathing. Crudies look awesome. When you're ready, slowly lower to your bellies. Take your hands underneath your head. Turn your head to one side. Awesome, crew. Take a few breaths. You could do reverse windshield wipers or butt wiggles if that feels good. Nice, y'all. I work those with you all the time, right? And it's not that they're ever easy. It's just that they get a little more familiar. Come to neutral. Inhale the head to side 2. Swap the hands, right, as you turn your head. And then if you want to do some more butt wiggles or reverse windshield wipers, go for it. And then come to neutral. Take your right arm underneath your chest, bend your left knee, reach back, grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Be conscious when you pull your heel to your butt, okay? Because we're working hamstrings. When we bend our knee, we're going to shorten the hamstring. We don't want the cramp to happen, okay? Which is why I took you to this quad stretch. It's going to be a little more accessible. So before you pull your heel to your butt, bring your belly, you're going to engage your hamstrings. Then you're going to pull your belly button to your spine. And you're going to push your pubic bone into the yoga mat. So now we got a neutral pelvis. Now we can draw the heel to the sit bone to intensify that quad stretch. But we want to neutralize the pelvis first, then we could try to stretch the quad. And you'll notice as you go belly button to spine, pubic bone to the mat or sit bones to the backs of your knees, however you want to think, front or back of your pelvis, you're going to feel the stretch get better. Then as you draw the heel, you're taking it even further. Watch the boing as you release, swap the hands. So the left hand goes underneath the chest. As the right knee bends, reach back, grab the right ankle, foot, or strap, but don't pull your heel to your butt yet. All right, fire up the back of the legs, pull the belly button to the spine. Yep, work the back of the pelvis, the sit bones to the heels, or the front, the pubic bone, or your junk into the yoga mat, however you want to think about it. Then start to draw the heel to the sit bone. And then maybe in a couple breaths, go back to neutralizing the pelvis, belly button and sit bones, and then draw the heel even a little bit further. And then watch the boing as you release. Bring the hands middle of the chest, nipple line. Take the shoulders back. Curl your toes under. Charge your legs up. Fire up your belly. Push up the chaturanga. Take a full round of breath. Then push up the plank. Take a full round of breath. Then push back to downward dog. Nice, y'all. Another thing we work on a lot, right? Pushing ourselves back up. Exhale, lower your knees, sit back on your heels. Okay, so we're gonna go into Ekapada Kundinyasana 2, arm balance today. You can play with this. It's gonna be inside of the thighs and back of the leg. We're gonna work a little bit more here. So I'll first take you into airplane, and then those of you that wanna work Ekapada Kundinyasana 2, you can. So we're gonna step the leg through, all right? Then we're gonna take the arm underneath to the outside of the foot. Oh, sorry, you'd be here in airplane, okay? Here's that supination we talked about before. See what happens when I go this way? The shoulder's peeling away. What happens when I go this way? It's rooting back, right? So that's how we want to work the arms. If I'm going to work the arm balance, I'm going to take my arm underneath my leg and I'm going to try to get it like high up on my arm, so close to my shoulder. Then I'm going to move my foot to the outside of my hand and I'm going to bend both elbows. I always see this in this pose. This inside arm bends and this outside one locks out. You got to bend them both, right? Like chaturanga. Now as I lower down, I got to turn this thigh in, or like these toes down. See this hip over here come up when I turn this way? If this hip is down this way, I'm never going to bring my leg up. I got to bring this hip up. Then I can scissor in. Then I can take the leg up. Right? It's all about neutral hips. You could have glutes and hamstrings and quads of steel. That leg is not coming up until you neutralize the hip, okay, or the pelvis and balance it. Come on, let's give it a try. Now remember, if you want to do airplane, awesome. If you're going to try Ekapada Kundinyasana 2, same awesome, right? One's not better than the other. It's just where you're going to play in your practice. So inhale, come up, exhale, hands down, all fours. Take a breath. When you're ready, step back to plank, downward dog, however you want to work your way back. Remember, it's called arm balance, right? Not arm strength pose. So that means you got to get the weight forward to balance it out. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Now, if you're going to go airplane, inhale the arms up, come in airplane. If you're going to work Ekapada Kundinyasana 2, you're going to take your right hand underneath your leg. You're going to bring the hand to the outside of the foot. Your hands are just like they would be in downward dog. Move your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Yep. Bend both elbows as you lower your chest towards the floor. Turn your toes on the right foot down so your left hip comes up. Scissor, and keep going forward, Jen. Keep scissoring into the midline as the leg then reaches up to the ceiling. The heel, yep. Yes, and then release the leg. If you're in airplane, exhale the hands down. We'll meet back in downward dog. The balance part of this is to go forward. You got to go forward, right? Because there's a lot of weight in your hips and your legs. That's where all the weight is. The prime movers. The upper trunk don't have a lot. Come on, try side two. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. If you want to inhale, come up, airplane. If you're going to go left hand underneath the leg to the outside of the foot, then the foot's going to go to the outside of the hand. Yep. Then you're going to start to bend both elbows. You're kicking that front leg to where like the walls meet at the front of the room. Yeah, that's it. Take that left foot out. There it is. Yeah, keep bringing down, keep coming down. There. Yes, yes. Scissor to the midline, then start to extend. You got a question?
Do we usually do baby cradle into this? Or is that?
Astabhakrasana.
Okay.
And then wherever you're at, lower down. We'll meet back in downward dog. Yeah, that's like the...
Yeah. I just feel like my mind goes blank, and I know I've done this before, but not this way.
Sometimes I have you go from downward dog. Yep.
There's
There's another
another way in this.
way in. Exhale, lower your knees, sit back on your heels. So what we're talking about is when we do core, sometimes I bring you in that way. When we do legs, I tend to bring you in this way just because there's a different option. So what they're talking about is you can come like this. You come from your downward dog, right? We open the hips. So if we were doing like open leg stuff today, then we would come this way. Right? That's another way to play with it. Where are we? All right. All fours, downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, pigeon. Now, here in pigeon, if this is a little too intense for the knees and the hips, you're always welcome to do supine pigeon on your back. That's a little more accessible for you, whatever feels good. If you're set up in pigeon here, right, the lifted up one, take the knee out to the edge of the mat. So it's nice and wide. And then the left knee is going to be in line with the left hip. If the toes are curled, more power. If the toenails are flat, more extension. It's not a right or wrong, wherever you want to play. Now, keep pushing down and pull your knees towards one another. So front to back. You're going to feel there's a lift. We want that. Pelvic floor, belly shutters is going to get the lift of the spine. I know a lot of you like to fold, so feel free, go for the fold. But what do I always say? Fold and collapse have two different meanings. We're not trying to collapse. That's not controllable. A fold, we're going to control. Now, before we talked about taking the sit bone back, right? When we were in our warriors and our Parsva, right? We were talking about keeping that. On the left leg, you're dragging your left knee forward and you're taking the sit bone back on the left side. That way you're not falling or collapsing into the front of the left thigh. On the right side, you're lengthening the sit bone down. So two different engagements, right? As it's asymmetric. Shows come up here. Way up there. Yep, yep. Couple more breaths, opening up the back of the hip, down the back of the leg. How you feeling so far?
Okay.
Edgy? Yeah. Don't do all the chaturangas and the vinyasas that I put them through because it just might be too much for this moment. And you know I tend to do a lot. Inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath. Lift the knees and the hips. Reach that right leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, right knee to left elbow, kick the leg out to the side. Lower the foot to the floor. Spin to the inside of the left foot. Draw the left elbow back. Maybe reach up. Now we've been playing with this. You got to engage the adductors. Maybe lift that bottom leg up towards the ceiling. Yes. Lower the leg if it's there. Inhale, come back to center. Unwind that right leg. Reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Yep. Take the breath and then lower that right leg down. Take another breath. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Pigeon side two. Nice, y'all. I see you've been working hard on that one, right? We've been playing with that for a few weeks. You know, I try to do that with y'all because, like, I've even, you know, and when I practice, it's like sometimes you see something and then you don't see it for months, right? So I try to, like, give us a couple weeks to work on this, see if we can't get it a little bit stronger. So this time, take the left knee wide. Yep. Start to hug in. See, like, if I'm like this, okay, this isn't the pose. This is thighs forward. The pose goes this way. See, now that is thighs back. A little crease here at my hip. So you don't want to feel that this thighs fall into the floor. It's got to be this way. See, that's the sit bone back. Then this one is going down a little bit. Yep. Here's like the other side. So I'm dragging the knee forward. Then I'm taking the sit bone back. It's going to lift me up a little bit. Then I can lengthen this one down. Yep, nice poses, y'all. We're going to be here for a few more breaths. If you need to move back a little bit, that's how you would make the pose a little more challenging. You take your right hand onto the sole of your foot and you push on it like a gas pedal and you hug in. Then you move your left knee back an inch or two. Then you hug back in and you move your right knee back an inch or two. And that stretch is going to get a whole lot better. And then from here, inhale, come up. Place the hands, take a breath, right? No rush. Lift the hips, unwind that left leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Take a breath. When you're ready, come forward, left knee to right elbow, kick the leg out to the side, spin to the inside of the right foot, draw that right elbow back. maybe start to reach up, maybe start to look up. And then if you want to try to lift that left leg off the ground, you got to engage those adductors. Lower the leg down. Inhale, come back to center. Unwind the left leg. Lower it down. Look forward. Bend the knees. Step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up. Big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Nice, y'all. Grab your mats. Find a spot on the wall. We'll go upside down. You doing the little hair thing? It's cute.
Yeah, I got a hair.
That's good, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very seasonal right now. Like.
Yeah, yeah, it feels nice.
Any hairstyle I have up here at this point in my life feels nice.
Yeah,
Whatever's up here that I can hang on to feels great.
men have it easy. They don't like to like my hair on my neck.
Yeah.
So it's what they wear.
How you feeling?
Good. It's nice to like stretch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I do still have muscles that move
Like
like in all dimensions of space.
throwing off your routine is tough, right? Like.
It's tough. It's been a tough 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
nice to be back. Looking forward to it.
And now Jess said to me yesterday, it's like you need to start taking care of yourself. Because with all the shit that's been going on, I just been, you know, it's.
It's been it's been like, it's
Yeah.
been that kind of a February, I guess we're in March now, but like this whole
Yeah.
late winter.
Been
it's
crazy.
Like very crazy.
Yep.
here.
Yep. So, oh, sorry. If you're at home, you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can lay on your back, bend your knees, you reach one leg up to the sky. We take a bunch of breaths and we can swap into side two. If you're at home or in the studio, it's not your day to invert. You're always welcome to go legs up the wall or a pose that feels good to you. I'm going to talk you into downward dog and L pose. You're more than welcome to do handstand, headstand, tripod, pinch, anything you want to mess with, okay? Hahnemann up the wall and do a lot of hip flexor overs. We did a couple though, so some of you could do Hahnemann up the wall. It'll open up that back leg again. In your L pose, you could reach the one leg up in a standing split. We've made that shape today, so that'd be another little challenge. Trina will be walking around. If you want to grab her right away, you can. I'm going to talk everyone into downward dog and L pose, and then I'll walk around as well. Okay, so you can grab me as well. So if you're going to stick with me, all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. If you're going to go on your own, whenever you're ready. From the all fours, we're going to take a couple breaths. We're going to lift the knees and the hips like we're setting up for a little short downward dog. And we're going to check in, and we're going to step one foot up the wall and the second foot up the wall. If our knees are bent, we're downward dog inverted. If our legs are straight, we're in L pose. When you come down, take your hands a little wider and turn them out. Okay. See how they're turned in? We want to spin them out that little bit. That'll integrate in the shoulder. Yeah, I think that's good space for you. Yep. And you stay up as long as feels good, then you come down, maybe you rest a little bit, maybe you try it again. Keep hugging your elbows in. This way. Yes. Nice, y'all. We talked about one of those challenging moments, right? That's an inversion. Yoga's literally asking you to be as cool, calm, and collected as you are upside down, like you would be right side up in Tadasana. That's a hell of a challenge, right? But that's where the game is played right now. And then from here, let's get ready to meet on our backs. Okay, we'll get ready to meet on our backs. Take your time. If you're kicking up, finish your inversion. Yeah. And we'll meet on our backs. So we're on our backs, our knees are bent, our feet are on the floor, our feet are hips width apart. We don't want to be any narrower. We could be a hair wider if we need the space, but we don't want to be any narrower. We're going to start with a neutral pelvis, which means your sacrum is this solid part on your pelvis, right at the top. You want that flat on the floor. The belly button's going to work to the spine. The knees are bent, so those hamstrings are engaging a little bit, right? So you're going to have that back connection. Then take the head and the shoulders back. Now take a breath. Charge the legs up. Bring it up through the core. And when you're ready, slowly lift the hips. Come to bridge. If you want to interlace your hands behind your back, we made that shape today. You can take it behind. Yeah. Now keep the power in your legs, but make sure that you're not lifting your hips so high that your knees are splaying out to the side. That means you went too high. Take your shoulders under a little more. Wiggle them under. Yep. Now, stay with your belly button and your shutters. Gently push your feet down and forward. It's going to take the back bend under your shoulder blades. That's right where we want back bends to be. In the thoracic spine, not in the lumbar spine. That's why it's so important to keep your belly button working to your spine and your sit bones lengthened into the backs of the knees. One more breath. If the hands are clasped, release them. Slowly lower down. See if you get your sacrum to land flat as you lower down. Then take the feet wide, let the knees touch. One hand on your heart, one hand on your low belly. Now in the second one, I'll first talk you into bridge and then the wheel, whatever feels good to you. Okay? Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet, bring the arms along the sides. Take a breath. Charge the legs up. Bring it through the upper trunk. Head and shoulders back, slowly lift the hips. If you're going to interlace your hands behind your back, if your left pinky was under, give right pinky a turn. If you're going to go wheel, place your hands wide to the edges of your mat and let your pinkies like feel the edges of your mat, because we tend to go a little narrow here. And plug those shoulders back. When you're ready, push down to come up. Keep your hands spinning out. We don't want those hands to turn in. If you need a little more length to the curve, lift the heels up. The curve will get longer. It'll be more accessible. Maybe pump your heart towards the wall you're looking at to feel the arms slide even deeper onto your back. And then stay engaged as you lower down. Take the feet wide. Let the knees touch. If your left hand was on your heart, right hand on your heart this time. Opposite hand on your low belly. And then from here, windshield wiper side to side. Come to neutral. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Maybe make a couple small circles here. When you balance both sides out, come to neutral. Keep your right knee in, take your left leg straight out. Try to get the back of the left thigh to root to the floor. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh as you reach the heel to the sky. We're in the back of the leg again here. In order to get the back of that left thigh to the floor, you might have to lower your right heel down a little bit. Then you can root that left thigh, then start to split again from that space. So what did we do? We're just trying to neutralize our pelvis. One more breath. Bend the knee. Release the back of the leg. Hug the left knee in. Take the right leg out. Root the back of the thigh to the floor. Interlace the hands behind that left thigh as you reach the heel to the sky. Nice, y'all. Find where that sweet spot's going to be, where you can maintain the neutral pelvis, but you could take the split even a little bit deeper. Keep hugging your right big toe mounds into the center so the toes are straight up to the sky. Yep. And then bend the knee, lower down, take both legs out straight, reach the arms up overhead. Take a nice stretch here. Hug your knees to your chest. Let the knees settle to the right as the left shoulder stays rooted down for the twist. Belly's in, shutters are closed. All right, so we're not manipulating those ribs. I talk about that every single time we do a twist because it's so easy to manipulate your ribs. It's very challenging to rotate your spine, but we're looking for the rotation to the spine. Inhale, come back to center. Let the knees settle to the left or your side too. Keep that right shoulder down. So the way to keep the rotation happening is keeping your belly button in and keeping your shutters closed. And we get that nice twist then through our spine. The muscles that do that, these spinal erectors here, these obliques, these are the muscles that are going to rotate you through. Inhale, come back to center, take the legs out straight, reach the arms up overhead, take a big stretch. And then when you're ready, hug your knees to your chest, take your knees wide, come to Happy Baby, Ananda Balasana. Knees are nice and wide, wider than our shoulders. If you feel like your butt's flying to the sky, you can always let go of your feet, hold the outside of your knees or your shins. That'll bring neutral pelvis again. And then if you want to get in the back of the legs one more time, you can reach one leg out. You can reach both legs out as you straighten them. Whatever feels good. And then inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'll talk everyone through laying flat. You're more than welcome to do a variation that feels good to you. And here as we lay back, we let the legs stretch out, the feet gently roll open. Let the arms come along the sides. As the shoulders settle back, that open palm turns to the sky. Let your head rest back. Maybe let your eyes close and the tongue soften from the roof of the mouth. Here we let the body get heavy. We worked hard today on rebounding, on lifting, right? Engaging ourselves. Well, here the work is to let go, to release, to feel the skin lay on the muscles and the muscles on the bones and the bones down into the yoga mat and the yoga mat down into the earth. We let each exhale clear and remove, make space, right? Those things that no longer we release. And then the inhale draws in something new, the change, the work that we just did. You all know the only way to get the result is to do the work. The mind softens, turns back to the breath. As we feel each breath washing over us, there's that deeper connection. And our heart opens. The heart's going to get ready to move the practice into the yoga of life. There will be many challenges to be had. But we go at them just like we do on the mat. We take a breath, we set a foundation, we engage, we express the best that we have in that moment. With each breath, a new moment, a new opportunity. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feeling the breath as it washes over the body, your toes, your fingers, the crown of your head, through your heart. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. As the fingers and the toes wiggle, let the arms and the legs stretch or reach, move in a way that feels good to you. Taking your time, moving slowly. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Take your hands underneath your head, make a little pillow. Just take a few breaths here. Let yourself reacclimate. When you're ready, you can push your hands down. We'll come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. Anjali Mudra. And one more time to seal in our practice, our time together. The sound of Om, all together. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work and that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Crew, good to see everyone. Super fun as always. Trina, nice to have you back. If you have any questions or anything, grab us before you leave. If you have anything weird going on in your body, definitely get me before you go. Maybe I'll see some of y'all next week. If not, I'll see you soon. Home crew, if you need me, you know how to get me. Thanks, y'all.